Alicia from Birmingham, Alabama is writing on behalf of her husband who's having a hard time changing out a toilet seat.
A common problem.
I bet.
When you're talking about toilet seats, you got to first understand if you're ordering a new toilet seat, which one to get. There are two choices. One is a round front. It's about 16 inches from back to front.
Gotcha.
And the other is elongated, more elliptical, and that's about 18 inches from back to front.
So pick the right one. Once
That's
we've got
right.
it, what do we do?
Now, changing out a toilet seat can either be the easiest or the toughest job. On a modern toilet seat like this, first of all, you got to expose where the top of the bolt is, and so there's usually a cover right here.
Yep.
Now, a common mistake people make is to put too small of a screwdriver up in here, and it defaces this bolt.
Not hard to do because the bolt's plastic.
That's right. So you want a good, generous blade screwdriver up inside here, and now with firm pressure facing down, you want to go counterclockwise. Now, underneath, there's a nut, and on the modern plastic nuts, they have wing nuts.
Yeah, it's like a half wing nut you
So
got
sometimes
there.
you can just hold back with your hand, like in that case, it came off easily.
So in this case, an easy job.
That's right. Now sometimes those wing nuts are all defaced and they're destroyed, and you've got to get some sort of wrench on it. Well, many times, this toilet is up against a bathtub, a vanity, or a wall.
It's always a tight space.
That's right. So now it's much more difficult to try and get in there with a pair of pliers to hold back against you because you can't really reach in there.
Okay, so what do you do if you can't get that wrench in?
Well, a plumber might use this. This is called a basin wrench, and it's a wrench designed to get up inside of a tight space, up inside there to be able to hold back.
Yep, okay, handy device to have.
And there's also another tool, which is an adjustable wrench that has a ratchet on it that can fit right up inside there and tighten up.
Sort of a crescent wrench on a 90-degree angle.
But
Great.
usually you can get these plastic bolts out of there. The challenge comes when you've got an older toilet seat like this. This has got a brass hinge
So
and
now
brass
we've got
bolts.
metal hardware here.
Right, and over time, down the bottom, the nut at the bottom can become corroded. So what you attempt to do would be to get the right deep socket on there and just to back it off, and generally that'll work.
Give it some persuasion.
Right. Now sometimes you might put some penetrating oil and wait for a little bit just to see if it can break down the corrosion.
Yeah, and if you can't,
Well, sooner or later you might reach the time where you have to cut this bolt off. Now you want to cut this bolt off using some sort of hacksaw. This is a mini hacksaw blade holder.
yeah.
And you want to cut this bolt right here, but you don't want to deface the china.
Yeah, sort of defeats the purpose if you mar that up.
So what I would do is use some broad knife or putty knife, and now I'm just going to make nice steady strokes in there so I don't wreck the china.
And use a knife to protect the china.
That's right.
Okay, so a little bit of work, but that should hopefully do the trick.
Yeah, I'll be here if you need me.
All right, thank you, Richard.
All right.